The Pottery Pails project FileMaker Database, version 2017. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take records which are on the FileMaker database and turn them into a spreadsheet for Excel. Here's an example of what I mean. What we're going to do is we're going to create this spreadsheet which has limited data rather than all of the data for a single locus, and we're going to only print that or save that information into an Excel that we want. And this is how you do that. First of all, you need to open up a file from the FileMaker database. So we're going to go, and we are using version 2017, and that's that little purpley hammer screwdriver folder at the bottom. I'm using a Macintosh, but this process applies also if you're using a PC. So what we're going to do is we're going to open, and I'm going to just go to something that I've opened recently, and I'm going to bypass, and you're going to need to put in a password. Now this assumes that you have taken the file from the FileMaker, the iPad, that's the FileMaker file from the iPad, and you have put it onto a computer that has version 17 or later FileMaker program. It has to be installed on the computer. What is on the iPad is FileMaker Go, and this is FileMaker, probably FileMaker Pro. Now once you have tried to open up the file, and I'm using a file from an old database, it's going to ask you for something. In version 17, it's going to ask you for the Archeo FM Gallery 16 version 2.0 or something similar. Click OK, and it's going to pop open, and you need to scroll until you find this. And here it is at the top. So I'm going to open that. What that does is it links the pictures to this database. In this version, and it depends on which file you have and what it's set up to do, as you can see here, I am in the vertical, I have the vertical page here, which is designed to look like a FileMaker datasheet, or designed to look like a Pottery Pails project datasheet, like a sheet of paper that you'd have on a clipboard. I'm going to go to another version. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the arrow on the upper right hand corner, and then I'm going to go down here to the horizontal, and this was the updated version for 2017, and now you can see it in the iPad, the way the iPad would look at it. So as we discussed in another previous video, if you click on the pottery pail, which is over on the left side, then you can see all of the pottery pails, and then we can go through and we can scroll or click through each one of them, clicking that arrow button, and you can see this person didn't have a lot of pottery in his project, so I'm going to click to the beginning, and then we're going to go through and see Locus 9, Locus 11, and go all the way through. So there's not a lot of information on this one, but it still can be used for demonstration purposes. So here's the first one. If I wanted to see any additional pottery pail tags, I would just scroll down like this and I can see more. And this is the way that I would, if I wanted to just see what there was, or if I wanted to take this information, say I want to just copy that, and I want to paste that over. Don't want to do that. I want to copy that, say, like this, and I just want to copy that, and I want to drop it over here, say, and just put it in place. Now you can do it manually if you want. So you can create a spreadsheet and then just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. But there's an easier way to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it here. Another thing you could do is you also click the lists, and you're going to go to the list. We're going to looking for pottery. In this case, I'm looking for earth. And once I click the earth, it shows all of the pottery pails, and it shows the pottery reading for each of those pails. If I want to see the detail, I can click on details here. It takes me back to where I was. Then I click the pottery pail, and I'm back to where I started. Well, what we want to do is we want to create this spreadsheet here so that I have the information from the list is all sorted, and it's going to look just pretty much like this, except for one thing you need to do, and I'm going to show you how to do that here. So first of all, let's take a look. We're going to go back to our list, go to pottery, we're going to go to earth. Now remember that the pottery pails are listed in more than one place. So in this example, I'm going to go back just to show you that I can go back to the architectural locus, and I also have pottery pails in the architectural locus. It doesn't mean I necessarily do have them, so I can click through here, and it doesn't look like we had any pottery in this architectural locus. But if I click installation locus here, if there's an installation locus, I would also click to see, and no, there are no pottery pails. So you might want to check that first, because you may have to make more than one of these spreadsheets. And just add an extra sheet if you need to. So we're going to go back to the earth and go to lists, click on pottery lists, go to earth, like so. And now this is the list that I want. And I'm going to take this information, I'm going to turn it into this spreadsheet. But there's one thing that you need that is not included on here, and that is called the PK record ID. Okay, what that is it means that it is assigned specifically to that locus. It's a special number that makes sure that all this data is only assigned to that locus and no other locus, and to this square and to this field. And the way we do that is that we go up and we're going to add that field, and we're just going to drop it right in here, because we don't, if we click on edit, we can see that there's a space right there for it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a field. To add a field, we're going to go up here to fields and say insert field, and you can see it gives me a table at the bottom, and I'm going to scroll down until I find what's called, see there's FK record ID, you don't want that one, you want the PK record ID. So there's my PK record ID. I'm going to click on the PK record ID. It says it's going to cause objects to go off the page. That's okay, it's just all it did was make it a little bit larger. And we're going to take that PK record ID like so. We're just going to make it, it doesn't matter how big it is on this page, we can put it anywhere. It doesn't matter, because what you're doing is you want to make sure that this number is on this spreadsheet over here. You see, it should be in here. Okay, so just so that I know what it is, I'm going to add that. Now let's just go back again. Now let's try it again so you remember how to do it. I want to add this. I'm going to go up to insert. I'm going to go to field. And this time I'm going to say create a label, just so that the label is there. It's going to put it in place and click out of the box, and you can see that the label has been created for me, which is what I want. Just in case I don't know what it is, I want to make sure. So, and you can put it anywhere you want on this, like so. So now I have it, I know where it is. Now that that's done, I'm going to exit the layout, and as I hit save, you're going to notice now that there is a PK record ID which has been assigned. See that? PK record ID has been assigned. That's so that we know that this record is record 29, record 30, and so on. Now we're going to take that information, we're going to add one more piece of information. We have a PK record ID, and that is for the locus, but we're also going to want another record ID as well. And so to do that, we're going to again go to insert field, and then instead of from Pottery Pail tables, we're going to actually go down to earth locus table, and then we're going to find the earth locus PK record ID. So we're going to say create our label, boom, and there it is. We're going to put that up there like this, but this time we're going to change the name. We're going to call this earth. So I have the earth record ID, like so. Put that information there, and then we're going to change this from PK record to locus. Now what that means is that there's a unique number for the earth, the earth locus, and then there's also a locus number ID. Okay. Now that that's done, we're going to hit exit and save, and notice what you're going to see. Now it has a longer number here, which is the PK record ID for the earth and a PK record ID for the locus. Now these two numbers alone will make sure that this data in any other table will always come back and will be associated with field D, square 1, locus 1, pail 1. So now we want that to become this. How are we going to do that? The way we do that is we go up here, and it's actually really straightforward. We just go up here, and where it says records, save as, and you can save as a PDF, a screen snap link, and all kinds of other things, but we're going to change it to the Excel. So we're going to save as an Excel file. You want to give it a name. In this case, we're going to call this test2, save it to the desktop, and just like that, it's been done. Now look what happens when I go here and I click on the desktop and I want to open it. And notice that all of that data has been stored, just like we want it to be. So notice the information that is on here. We don't really need this, so we can delete that. Yes or no, is it an earth locus or is it not? We don't really need that table. So if you know how to delete that, you can just go ahead and delete that. We're just going to delete that column. And notice what it says next. The other things that we might want to do is we have these PK record IDs. We might want to move them. So you might want to take and move things around. That's up to you. But what it means is that the information that was in the pottery forms and readings, you can now see that it is listed here. All of the pails, pails 1 through 16, are all listed. It tells you which square it was, which locus it was, what field it was, and so on. It also has the name of the supervisor. That is to say, anything that was on this table right here, anything, and we'll go back to edit, anything that's here will show up in your spreadsheet. So if you want to add more things, like notice that we added the PK record ID, we added the locus, you can add those anywhere on here that you like, and those fields will appear here as well. Okay, so that is how you get the information that is in this list to become a spreadsheet, and then you can use this spreadsheet for quantifying. Now it can also go the other way, that is that I can take this information here and I can maybe add additional information or change information and then upload it if needed. Don't do that unless you ask, because we don't want to change the data, but for somebody who's building their own database, that is certainly an option for you. So if you have any other questions on how to do this, if you have any problems, don't hesitate to contact me at bates@andrews.edu, and I'll be glad to help you out. This has been the FileMaker Database for the Modern Plains Project tutorial project. Have a great day.